The Mandela Effect is named for the millions of people who remember that Nelson Mandela died in the 1980s. Except that he didn't. History changed, and Mandela lived until 2013. Now a scientist has come forward who confesses he is part of the group which is responsible for thousands of small changes in our timeline. In August of 2016, he said his name was Jeremy. At 4chan.org, an anonymous forum, he admitted to be one of the 23 scientists, a group called The Collective, which is changing human history. Although he is a young man in his 20s, he suffers from exposure to the equipment used to alter time. He will be dead before his next birthday. He believes the public has a right to know. Therefore, Jeremy is blowing the whistle now. Part of the Mandela Effect is the sudden appearance of new animal species on Earth, such as the flying fox. This is a new kind of bat with a wingspan of 6 feet, which did not exist until this year. And then, abruptly, it had always existed. In the Maldives and the Philippines and Australia. According to Jeremy, the Mandela Effect started after the Earth suffered an extinction event back in 2012. He will not reveal the nature of the worldwide catastrophe, but the clues point to nuclear war. The Collective was a gathering of physicists who survived. They knew their one chance to save the planet was to alter the timeline. A quantum computer gave them access to the manipulation of space-time, and our history was reset. Unfortunately, the original history leaves a residue. Even after the war itself was eliminated, to protect humanity from the higher level of background radiation which lingered. The scientists experimented with improvements to the human body. They increased the size of the liver to better process environmental toxins. To increase the size of the heart, they had to modify its position. The heart has always been located on the left side of the chest. Today, that is no longer the case. The heart is now located in the center of the chest. This can be confirmed on any medical website. Most people now believe it's always been there. But some of us remember. Part of residual reality is that some people remember the original history instead of the new history. Jeremy calls this a failure of the veil, or the software updates being applied to nature. Now that the Collective has prevented our extinction, Jeremy fears they wish to manufacture the future by overwriting our memories. But the quantum computer program has a more serious bug. The population is suffering temporal side effects. The newest updates are producing symptoms like chronic headaches, loss of breath, memory holes, and feelings of paranoia. If the program is not fixed, the result may be a kind of server crash, in which the nuclear war timeline will be restored retroactively. The human race will have already died, having starved and been frozen in nuclear winter. The Mandela Effect is also responsible for changes being made to the text of the Holy Bible. Isaiah chapter 11, verse 6 once read, "The lion shall live with the lamb." Now it reads, "The wolf shall live with the lamb." However, residual proof of the lion can be seen in works of religious art. Soon, people will begin to doubt their Bible is really the Word of God. The number of changes already made to the original timeline is more than 12,000. Jeremy says the true nature of reality is like Russian nesting dolls, because even as the collective revises our reality, they bear their own memory lapses, leading to the suspicion that they themselves are being manipulated in space-time by some unknown outside committee, of which they know nothing.
The Mandela Effect is an uncanny sense of strangeness or eeriness. Familiar things look hauntingly peculiar and foreign, as if from some sort of parallel universe. Earlier I drew a card from the strangest card deck I know, the Polarity deck. And it was this one. It shows a vase with a crack in it, and sunlight is going through the crack.